All right, Coach. You guys picked up the win on Monday. Now you're getting ready for another Louisiana road trip. Southeastern on Saturday. What's the focus this week?
Just to continue to get better. I mean, this is part of the process today. On Wednesday, we watched film on doing a recap of Lamar and a tough, hard-fought win on that, or in that, I should say, and just learning everything that we can, good and bad, that came out of the Lamar game. Then turning our focus to Southeastern. Excuse me. Starting with some personnel, starting with some of their actions on the floor, both film and walk through some stuff and getting some shots up and getting the ball back in our hands after a day off yesterday. So moving forward, it's just, how can we match their intensity? They're a really talented, well-coached team. Coach Kiefer does a fantastic job. They have some really good players, and Isaiah Gaines and Jeremy Elise, and Forrest is playing really well, and Jaden Lawrence is playing really well, and Kyle Edison's a really talented player. So Booker, a former player here, is going to have his hair on fire wanting to beat us. So he's shooting the ball at a high level in conference, man. So we have our work cut out for us, and we have to play really hard and really disciplined and play the right way and do everything that we can in the process to that to put ourselves in a position to earn the result that we want.
Coach, clinching this Southland, how does it feel for you personally on your second year to be able to come and turn this program around and clinch for the Southland tournament?
I haven't really thought too much about it, frankly. I just, there's such a huge task of us in front of us, just to turn the page after Lamar and get ready to win a really challenging, tough conference game on the road. The big picture stuff down the road for this season, let alone like being in my second year and all that kind of stuff hasn't really been a point of emphasis for me personally. It's something that I'm really proud of our guys for, to put themselves in a position to play in the postseason is something they've earned, especially with, the way we started this season, the way that we started this conference season, for our guys to bounce back and show some grit and resilience. I'm really proud of them. So, and they've earned that. So very, very happy for them. But for anything pertaining to me or, my second year here or what my tenure looks like, that's not really a front of mine.
And these last 4 games are going to help you possibly clinch a third seed. What's the mindset going to these 3 games, possibly already beginning like playoff form?
Yeah, again, you guys are so sick of me hearing this. I'm really just thinking about practice tomorrow. 3 games is so many, you know what I mean? But I think of it more of like 3 practices is so many. Like, how can we recover after today's practice? How can we put ourselves in a position to be physically, mentally ready to practice tomorrow at a high level, to prepare and turn and be ready to go on Friday? So it's really a step-by-step deal. And I know that's a boring answer, and it's probably even a corny cliche answer, but it truly is the truth. And I think it has to be the truth and the reality for our group. Our group in particular needs to remain laser focused on the task at hand. And the task at hand right now is recovery. The task on the hand is the academic stuff to not serve as a distraction, so we can show up and be ready to go and be ready to compete tomorrow and win that next part of the process.
Coach, you saw your win streak snapped on Saturday against SFA. You think that kind of like helped reset the mindset of the guys going into the Mars game and then heading down this stretch of the regular season?
I hope so. I hope there's some kind of a learning tool from it, right? You'd like to learn from wins rather than losses, but hopefully that can kind of get us recalibrated and recentered. It's hard. I thought we showed some emotional and physical fatigue on Monday on the heels of the SFA game, and hopefully our guys have taken away like that's not really acceptable, right? Like we got to push through that. We have to push through this momentary feelings of discomfort and adversity and fatigue or whatever that looks like for you as individuals, to keep driving, to keep fighting, to do what it takes to win the possession, and for us to really succumb to that is not necessarily our standard. It's not our mental toughness standard, and we have to do a better job of that moving forward. But to answer your question more specifically, I hope that we take something from that, right? I would like that to not come at the expense of losing a game. But the goal is, to be the best version of ourselves come March, be the best version of ourselves at the end of this thing. So hopefully the results follow, and hopefully we can take everything that we can out of every game, let alone the SFA loss.
You mentioned you want to be the best team you can be for March. It's been a long season, four games left in this regular season. How do you go about mitigating, all the toughness that their body's going through over the year, the mental toughness that they faced? How do you go about handling that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that we examine with a fine-tooth comb every single day, every single drill. How many reps are we putting them through? How much time are we spending on the floor? How much time are we spending in film room? How long is my conversations with each individual? How sick of my voice are they, right? I think they all are to a man, but at what point is it the breaking point where they can actually deal with it or not? So I think some are closer to the breaking point than others, but I have to do my due diligence to really gauge us at every turn, right, and really try to maximize our time to get better, right, to get better so we can be a really good version of ourselves, but to also be fresh so we can accomplish that, so we have the capacity to be the best version of ourselves. So everything is monitored, everything is looked at, everything is kind of tweaked and gone over and re-gone over and all that kind of stuff to make it, a really functional activity. Like I said, whether that's film, whether that's practice, but we continue to look at it. We look at our travel. All those things really, really matter. We try to find the margins and win those margins when we can.
Going into Saturday's game against Southeastern, I mean, as we've learned all year, anybody can win at any given time. What's going to be key to getting a win against Southeastern on Saturday?
Tremendous effort. They play really, really hard. They play with a tremendous amount of physicality to combine with their effort, and we have to be able to deal with them. They're a balanced offensive team in the sense that Isaiah Gaines can be a handful in the painted area, but then they got some guys that are shooting the basketball at a high level with Booker and Lawrence in the perimeter. Kai Miles as well is shooting the basketball really well. Forrest is scoring the basketball at all three levels and getting to the free throw line. So we have to guard and win our individual matchups. We have to keep them off the offensive glass, and we have to play with mental and physical toughness, both on offense and defense. We have to play tough offense. We have to protect the basketball. We have to be in attack mode while fighting through physicality, while fighting through contact, and we have to do that over the course of 40 minutes. So it's a huge task. It's a huge challenge. They're a really different animal at home. I believe they're 4-5 in conference at home, and they're playing really well. They just came off a win against Incarnate Word at home by a significant margin. So we really have to prepare the right way and win every step of the process to put ourselves in a position to win it.
Yeah. In the last month, you guys have really found yourselves. Where do you think the guys have most improved to be able to get that far?
Oof, good question. At the beginning of this deal, when we were really floundering a little bit, I shouldn't say flounder, but really struggling and going through it a little bit, it felt like the Dutch girl at the dam, trying to stick her holes in all the different, or fingers in all the different holes to stop the leaks, and it felt like if it wasn't one thing, it was another. So I think they've really come a long way. Our team and our players have in their discipline and just making winning choices, right? And I know that's a very broad answer, but it's all encompassing in the sense that it affects everything they do. It affects all the choices and the decisions they make on the floor, right? Whether that's a bailout bad foul when they're defending a driver, whether that's deciding not to box out, whether that's deciding not to sprint back in transition defense, whether that's shot selection. I think we're just far more adherent to winning choices, and I really just give them a tremendous amount of credit for that. They really committed to that. I think they found themselves a little bit at not necessarily rock bottom, but damn near it after Northwestern State and that road trip to East Texas A&M as well. And they said, finally they said, like, let's just try to do it this way, right? And do it with discipline and do it with effort and combine those elements. And I think they've done a really nice job of that. By and large, it hasn't been perfect. There's been some really ugly stretches despite winning games. But I think, by and large and generally speaking, they've really committed to that idea, and long may it continue, man. We need that for practice tomorrow. We need to be really sharp in our preparation this week. That all those things have to continue and improve.